Hi, Michelle here from Sensate Soul, and popping on the video with a video for a moment to speak just a little bit about integrity and information. And in relation to this, relating it to marketing and entrepreneurism. So I will be completely straightforward here and admit that I have been triggered like crazy lately on social media. And I will also admit that part of that has been because there's a part of me that has been very tired because I have been writing a book and working on that very intensely and focused. And writing a book can definitely be quite a big initiation and lesson in getting rid of our perfectionism. Like anything that we do that has that self-expression and creative piece. So I wanted to, though, speak here about integrity, because integrity is a really, really, really important thing in our world, and also in personal growth, and also in marketing. Let me move this so it doesn't scratch. So the thing is, and this is my thought I want to share, we on social media get really upset when people do fake news, when when TV stations and when businesses do fake news. That's what I'm getting at here. And, it's easy to get really frustrated at when people are exaggerating truths or creating things that are just not real. And all of us band together and go, that's fake news. That's not okay. Have some integrity. Don't, yank people around. Don't lie to people. But then there's this thing called marketing. And marketing originally, of course, means bringing something to market. And at some point, somebody thought of the idea that, if I say that this potion can cure, X, Y, and Z ailments, even though it might just be snake oil, as the old joke says, people will believe that. Some people actually may have it happen because of the placebo effect. But generally, we started to pump things up and say something was potentially better and more effective than it actually was. So, and people want to believe that because they want to have the relief. We all want to have, get the results that something promises. So, when we are marketing things and when we're putting information out into social media, into the world, basically, there's this level of integrity that is so important. And personally, because it's one of my biggest values, it really gets under my skin when there's a false claims, or when there is inappropriate use of making things sound more scary, more something than they actually are, when we are making stuff up in order to sell shit. And when we put information out there, it's really important that we check that we are having integrity with putting that information out. Thinking about, how is this going to affect somebody? How will this, how will this really serve them? How will this potentially aggravate them or agitate them? Now, of course, in marketing, there's always this idea that there's a little bit of agitation that's necessary so that people will take action. And I get all that stuff. But particularly, I have to say, for empathic and sensitive HSP entrepreneurs, and for those who are on social media, who find themselves, identify themselves also as HSPs, this energetic integrity with information is, I'm going to get a little bit out of the sun here, is something that's really even more important in the sense that we feel it. We have really, really, really sharp BS detectors. And we also will override it, like everyone, because our heads will tell us something, like, oh, well, we should like that and we should trust that person. But really, when our body and our sensations and our gut and everything is going like, no, wait a second, pay attention here, have some discernment and trust that that discernment, that feeling is right and correct for you. So, and that, of course, works on the other way if something is really like, yeah, this is totally something I'm into and it feels like it's, expanding and it's lightening me up. So this is a really big challenge for empathic entrepreneurs because of how much fake news is used in marketing, and how there's so many subtle layers of self-promotion. When people are just writing about something in their life, there's this tendency to put little things in there that are always, in some way, promoting them. And it gets old. It gets really old. Personally, I'll say that for myself because I've been really triggered lately. And it has a lack of integrity where it just feels like I just get turned off personally. And empathic entrepreneurs and sensitive creatives, this is one of the big reasons why so many of us will hold back on sharing our skills, our gifts, our talents, our abilities, our work, and the things that we want to put out in the world if we are, pursuing the path of entrepreneurism, because we feel like, well, shit, if I'm gonna, really be, if I'm gonna make it, I gotta change and become this self-promoting kind of fake newsing machine of sales. And because the bottom line is, sorry, but even though that there are those who really do succeed with integrity and with building over time and with showing up with that level of consistency and commitment and honesty, they are less and more far and few between than the ones who come in and say all the right things and market on all of the predictable ways that are that get people that have a certain level of manipulation in the way the marketing is done, that really gets people fired up and scared also, and then they'll buy because they think the solution will get them where they need to get to really quickly, and actually there may be a little bit more of marketing smoke and mirrors underneath. So I know this sounds really judgy. There's a part of me, I'll admit, that is a little bit more judgy. There's all sorts of dogs running around me right now. But there's also, judgment in and of itself as a neutral thing has a certain level of integrity in it. It's not, second, let's watch what we're doing here, or let's watch what we're personally doing here. So if you are an empathic entrepreneur, please know that there is a way to be able to show up with integrity, and that you can, and you can do it. It is absolutely possible, and people are doing it, and I'd like to believe that I am doing it. And we have to watch what we put out there in social media. And there is such a thing as having integrity with the information that we put out into the ethers, because things affect people. And yes, we can't be responsible for everybody and everything. Of course, that's totally impossible. But we can have integrity. And if something feels like you're going to put something out there, and it feels a little bit like, in a sense of a program or marketing or making stuff up, you definitely want to check yourself when that happens. But if something, feels a little bit off, run it by a friend, who knows you really well. Say, hey, does this make sense? Would this feel like it's going to be a positive contribution? We can't make stuff up and or exaggerate things or like one that triggered me so much recently, where, you know, it's like calling something a medical, psychological term that actually exists in a diagnostic manual for psychological disorders, but then it's a marketing ploy. We can't do that, because then people look at that and go, oh my God, do I have that? Is that my dis-ease? Is that what's wrong with my personality? No, really, we can't do that. All right, so here is the social media integrity empathic police signing off. So please do, if you like what I'm saying here or in my other videos, please do like this video and subscribe to my YouTube channel. And also, I have a book coming out. You can come over to sensatesoul.com and find it there and get the first intro and the first month, intro and the first month for free. It's called A Year of Empathy. It's a daily inspirational reader. And I hope I just shared all of that with integrity. All right, take great care. See you in the next video. Bye.